What's going on, YouTube? How's everybody doing? Hopefully, everyone's doing great. Having a good weekend so far. I want to make a really quick video. Just I gotten some questions in the comment section on a few other videos. Hold on, real second. Quick, there we go. All right, there we go. I had a few questions from the in my comment section a few days ago. So I just kind of want to address those. A lot of those conversations, a lot of those questions revolving around people who were close to their 30s, late 20s, early 30s, who were thinking about joining the military. And so they were kind of in a decision place where they just wanted to know, get some advice on what that's like. What is life like? What is that decision making process like for someone who is that age? Joining the military. So hopefully I get some people onto the stream and onto the chat. But if not, I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of rip and talk about my perspective on it. So for those that don't know, I joined the Army National Guard at the time. At age 34. I enlisted at age 34 back in 2016. I'm currently in the Army, but I'm in the Army Reserves at this point. I switched from the National Guard to the Reserves last year, actually, just for for different opportunities, for different reasons. So, with that being said, let's kind of get into the process. So, I think the first thing, if you are in your late 20s, early 30s, first thing that you really need to keep in mind is that you don't have as much time to waste as, let's say, an 18, 19, 20-year-old might have, right? So oftentimes you'll get a person who is, in their teens, late teens to early 20s who's joining the military. And they're really joining the military because they don't really know what they want to do as far as civilian world. So as far as the civilian world is concerned, they just want to jump to the military to have a job, have something to do. Maybe they just want to serve, all those kinds of things. And those things are great. But as a 30-plus-year-old, you have to recognize the fact that you don't have that same amount of time to kind of waste. So an 18-year-old might join the military and, kind of fumble their way through it, go through different MOSs, getting in different types of trouble, all that kind of stuff. But for us, again, we don't really have that type of time. So what I would encourage you to do is really sit down and think about, what do you want to do in the military, but and also outside of the military, right? What is it that you're trying to achieve here? Are you joining the military to gain some extra skills? Are you joining the military to get an MOS that translates outside of the military? Is this something that you're looking at doing 20 years in? Because again, typically, when an 18-year-old joins and they do their 20 years, they're ready to retire at 38, 39, 40 years old, right? But for us, those of us who are joining in our 30s, late 20s, your 20 years is pushing closer to 50. So you got to ask yourself, what's the end game here? Are you looking to serve 20 years, active duty, National Guard, Army Reserves? Or are you looking at the military as a temporary option to kind of get you from where you are to maybe where you want to be in life? So think about those things. That's going to impact your choice or your decision on the MOS that you want to go into. You want to make sure that you are enlisting or commissioning, if you're a person who's becoming a commissioned officer, into an MOS or branch that's going to be beneficial to you outside of the Army as well as inside of the Army. Inside the Army, there are some great MOSs that are super hua and really bode well for an Army career. However, some of those MOSs are not going to translate into the civilian world. And so you want to make sure you're doing what you can. So whether it be IT, whether it be intelligence, something dealing with anything that's technical, really, getting leadership experience, map making, any of those type of things, right? There's so many different MOSs that you can choose that you can also then turn around and say, okay, this is going to be beneficial to me in my civilian life. So please make sure that you are looking at your MOS from that standpoint. Don't go into a recruiter's office just saying whatever the recruiter wants me to do, that's what I'm going to do. No. Again, 30+ year olds don't have that type of time. Go in educated, know what MOS is attractive to you, learn what the ASVAB requirement is for you to get that, or the GT score. What's the GT score required? What's the required GT score, in order to qualify for that MOS? And any weak areas that you have, whether it be writing, whether it be math, whatever it is, make sure you work on those before you take the ASVAB. So this brings me to my second point, the ASVAB itself, right? So the ASVAB is going to be the determining factor that allows you to choose an MOS that really shows what MOS will be available to you. The worst thing you want to do is not prepare for the ASVAB, and then you fall into essentially the hands of a recruiter who maybe has a spot to fill somewhere else that maybe you don't want to go into. Because the recruiter's job is to get you into the Army and to fill certain spots in the Army as well. Your job is to make sure that you are getting the MOS that you desire. So before you take the ASVAB, take a practice ASVAB. I'm a proponent for the ASVAB for Dummies. That's what I used when I was studying back in 2016, really 15. I used that in 2015 to get myself ready. Take those practice ASVAB tests. Look at what your weaknesses are, study those things, make those things your strengths. So that when you take that I want to say it's like 3 hours. I think the test is like 2 or 3 hours long. Once you take that test, you can score high enough where you can qualify for more MOSs, as opposed to having a small selection of MOSs. Third thing I would encourage anybody who's 30+ and older to do, if you're thinking about joining the military, is by all means, make sure that anything that you and your recruiter discuss, so whether it be schools, whether it be whether it be money, bonuses, student loan repayment, whatever it is, be sure to have that in your contract. Again, 30+-year-olds don't have time to play around. So make sure that anything that you and your recruiter discuss is absolutely 100% in your contract. We got, who's it? Shaq. I joined the Alabama National Guard. Let me just actually put this up here, right? Here we go. So that way everybody can see this. So I joined the Alabama National Guard almost a month before I turned 30. I ship out August 10th, and my MOS is 92 golf. Actually, I kind of know what that is. I just forgot right now. 92 golf. What is that, Shaq? Number one, congratulations on your enlistment. Thank you for your future service, because you're definitely going to be you're definitely needed in the field, definitely needed in the National Guard. And so I appreciate the fact that you are that you're actually joining. But if you can let me know what a 92 golf is again, I'm pretty sure I could Google it real quick, but if you can just let me know what that is, that'd be great. And and kudos to you also for again, you turn you're 29, 30 years old now, and you're joining culinary specialist. All right, great. That's a great MOS. And here's why. Obviously, it's needed in the Army, but outside the Army, everybody eats, right? So we're all still eating. So culinary specialists outside of the Army are still important. So good job on you. Hopefully, again, make that the best that you can. Learn that, and then look to see if you can use that training, because you're in the National Guard. Look to see if you can use that training to get into a culinary school or into a restaurant. If you already kind of have an idea of where you want to work, take that training and then build on it. But that's a good choice there. Culinary specialist, something that people don't really think about, because it's not, again, one of those super HUA MOSs. But when it comes to your civilian life, it absolutely translates. So welcome to the Army, Shaq. Again, congratulations on your enlistment, and I wish nothing but good luck to you on your journey. So that's May 26th. So you ship out on August 10th. So you should be doing RSP, right, for your National Guard unit. Does your state do RSP? They're like drills that lead up to the time that you ship out to basic. So I think that I actually I've made a video about those before, like the ones we did here in Maryland. Different phases for different times that you're in RSP until you get ready to ship out. So yeah, so for 30 plus year olds, again, make sure that you are studying for your ASVAB to get the MOS that you want, because that's going to be very key. My last bit of advice for people who are 30 plus year old, particularly if you have a family, right? This is very important. Being away from your family in any career field is not easy. Spending time away is not easy, no matter what the career field is. In the Army, particularly if you're going active duty, it's even harder, right? Because your time away from family is longer, and your time away from family can be more frequent, right, than someone from with a civilian job. So please make sure that you are talking to your significant other, having that conversation with your children if you have children, to make sure that everybody's on board, make sure that everybody's involved in the planning, make sure that everybody's on the same page. Because the last thing that you want is for that pull, that tug, that stress that you're already going to get from having to be at basic and be at AIT and away from your family. The last thing you want is for the additional stress to come in your family. You want everybody to be on board, everybody to be as supportive as possible. Me and my wife, I think we talked about this for like a year before I actually enlisted. And I had to lay out for her like what my vision was for what I saw joining the military could do for the family. So please make sure you're doing the same thing, because there needs to be 100% buy-in from your spouse and from your family, because they're going to be impacted as well. So with that being said, Shaq, you said, I see, so you did your last drill. Let's see, yes, sir. I had drill last month and drill coming up. Okay, great, awesome, good. So that's good stuff. I'll tell you, the things that you learn, Shaq, in that drill are going to benefit you when you get to basic training, because they're going to teach you the proper how to render the salutes. They're going to teach you your ranks already. They're going to teach you drill and ceremony already. And depending on how long you're there, you'll become really good at it, so that when you get to basic training, you can be a help to your battle buddies as they're kind of going through their first time learning. The National Guard is really good with that, with RSP, where a lot of National Guard soldiers come into basic training already knowing some of the basics, because they've been spun up, they've been made smart on it through RSP. So once again, Shaq, thanks for jumping on with me. Congratulations on your enlistment. Best of luck to you in all of your endeavors through basic, through AIT, and also in your civilian life when you come home. And for the rest of you, I'm going to end it here tonight, but please join me Sundays at 7:30 p.m. I kind of didn't do one for the last couple weeks because we had some things going on here that we needed to address. But again, hopefully I will see more people on the chat. Shaq, again, thanks for jumping on here with me. God bless all of you. Take care.